And we're live.
Well, good afternoon, Mesa Public Schools community. I'm Andy Forlis, the very proud superintendent of Mesa Public Schools, and I thank you for joining us in our Safe, Strong, Ready Facebook Live events. It is an exciting time in Mesa Public Schools as our kids are thinking about enrollment for next year or even for the remainder of this academic year. And we know that that decisions that kids make are so important. So I have two experts joining me today. We have Mr. Chris Gilmore, who is the principal at Westwood High School. He is going to be here. He's been a familiar face. He's been on Facebook Live before. He will be talking about the high school experience and answering some questions and providing some information about what we offer to our high school students. And then we have Miss Jill Benza, who is our principal at Shepherd Elementary. And she has a unique experience because she's been an administrator both at a junior high and a high school. So kind of sees this 7th grade to 12th grade experience for students. And both are parents, and they are always thinking about what's best for their children, even at the youngest ages, on how to best prepare them for the educational experience that they're looking for so that they can launch into the world that they want to own. So welcome to Mr. Gilmore and to Ms. Benza. We are going to start off with a couple of questions about, and we're just going to talk about in general, are all of our secondary schools in Mesa the same? And when we are talking about secondary, we're talking about our junior highs as well as our senior highs or our high schools. So why don't we start off? Ms. Benza, you want to talk about how similar and how different they are, and then we can get into some specifics.
Sure. I think it's an interesting question that you ask, because I think on the surface, our junior highs and high schools, we just assume they're all the same. I mean, they're going to take, and use the same curriculum for 7th grade social studies at every school, 9th grade world history at every school. So in that sense, they are the same, but every school has its own unique personality. And we have our own unique things that make our schools great. So one school might have a really strong performing arts program, and another school might have a really strong international baccalaureate program. So there are some things that differentiate our schools, I think, that draw people into them. So I can't say that we're all exactly the same because we are different, and we have different leaders and teachers and communities that we serve, and they reflect our communities and what our communities are looking for. But at the same time, any school somebody chooses in Mesa, their students are going to get the same core curriculum from really strong, solid teachers.
Do you want to add on to that, Mr. Gilmore?
Yeah, I'd like to add on that, and I agree with her that the 6 traditional high schools offer some of the same programs, but we all have that unique twist on it based upon our community and the personality of our school. For instance, we have some wonderful programs in our high schools with AVID, our AP classes, dual enrollment, JROTC, community work experience through our individualized education department. We all have a robust athletics department. So we all have those different twists. And I'll go back for another good example with JROTC. We have an Air Force program. Another school might have an Army program, but at the core of it, they have the leadership skills in the ROTC. Many schools have the AP program. At Westwood, we have AP and the IB program. That is a flagship program right here at Westwood High School. Another example is we all have CTE programs, but for Westwood example, we have the Advanced Manufacturing and Engineering program that's unique to our school. So, I agree with Ms. Benza that we do all have similar programs, but we put a little twist on it based on our community and neighborhood needs.
Excellent. And I think that I really appreciate the uniqueness of our schools, because not only the community that they serve, but the talents and the expertise that the educators at that building bring to the school. And what I can confidently say is that there is a place for everybody in Mesa Public Schools. There is a program. If you are really interested in culinary, there is an amazing culinary program just for you. If you're interested in welding, there is a welding program just for you. So I think that is one of the benefits of being part of the largest district in the state, is that we can offer a lot of opportunities for our kids. So let's talk a little bit about career exploration. We know that career exploration starts at a very young age, but we're just focused on junior high and then how that leads on into high school. So if you can talk a bit about that, Ms. Benza.
Absolutely. And I will echo what Dr. Forlis said. It does start at a really early age. I have a first grader in the district, and he did a whole report and presentation through his school where they do a lot of hands-on inquiry about being a police officer. And he built a jail. It was beautiful. But it does start. We start talking about these things so young. And for me, when I came to the junior high, I was a little bit shocked. I grew up in Mesa, and I thought, wow, I don't think I realized just how much existed and how many opportunities we have in CTE for our junior high students now. And when I look on my campus, we offer 2 different classes in culinary arts. One of them where they actually teach the students how to do the proper knife holding. And I often think I should probably take this class to better my own cooking.
Me too.
We offer a sewing class. And what's really neat about that is there are so many people who cannot sew on a button. And I walk into this classroom and I have kids that are sewing beds that they're going to donate to the animal shelters, and they're using materials and they're repurposing things. We have web creation. I mean, how cool would it be to learn how to make your own website? And for so many of our students in CT that are so hands-on, they're also really artistic and creative. And I think about somebody who created the Etsy site probably was a CTE student in a school district somewhere that said, hey, I've got an idea. And now that person is, in charge of this huge business. So between computer programming and computer graphics, photography classes, I was in a class watching kids take their picture and put it on the heads of celebrities. And I thought, what a great skill. There's so many things they can do. And what's neat is they're taking these classes and finding what they enjoy. And then we talk to them about, okay, now you're going to go on to high school. What classes are similar there? What can you build on at the high school that you're interested in? If you were good with web creation, where can that take you in the high school? And then what kind of programs do they have to offer up there?
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Mr. Gilmore, how the programs come? When we say CTE, that is our acronym for Career Technical Education. And many of our career technical education courses lead to an industry certificate, so that when our kids graduate, not only do they have a diploma, but they also have an industry certificate. And I know that that's something that is really important to you, Mr. Gilmore. You want to talk a little bit about, so finding an interest in junior high, and maybe you don't like what you tried in junior high and you want to try something else, or maybe you want to continue on.
Yeah, our CTE programs today are just really, they're all aligned to the industry standards that are going on in the state of Arizona. But I want to back up just a little bit, and I got to give shout out to our school counselors. It all starts with our school counselors working with our students to find their voice and to give them their agency and what they want to do in the high school. So I know the school counselors at the junior high, well, I'm going to start back with elementary, with junior high and going into the high school and working on those education career action plans to really try to find the student's voice and what they were passionate about, try to find their strengths and interests to help them plan that coursework for what they want to do at high school. Because, the evidence is there that if the kids are passionate about a career, that they're going to be successful in other career subjects. But, one of our mottos here at Westwood is where everybody is somebody, and we're going to find some type of a program for you that you could really flourish in while you're with us for 4 years. And when you say career technical education, these are robust programs, 2 or 3 year programs that lead to industry certification. And I could give you some examples of what we have here at Westwood. We have agriculture science, we have advanced manufacturing and engineering, sports medicine, software development, and all of these courses lead to some type of industry certification. So you might be in our autos program. Well, we have the ASE student certifications. You could be certified in engine repair or brakes, electrical systems. So while the students are in high school, they get these industry certifications. So not only will they graduate with the diploma, but they will also graduate with the certification to go right into some type of a career that gets a good paying job. And so we're really proud to have these CTE programs at our school so that it not just gives the diploma, but we call it the Diploma Plus, so that our students are set up to be career ready.
That's excellent. And I'm going to hang on, and I have to do a little plug. Mr. Gilmore talked about those elementary counselors. Well, he's married to one of our elementary counselors, and so he knows how important that is. So definitely, he's got the inside scoop all the way from elementary to high school. So we have a question that came in. Can students with special needs, so a student that has an IEP or a 504, can they participate in those career tech ed programs? So at the junior high, talk a little bit about that, and then also Mr. Gilmore. We know the answer is yes, but you want to give a little bit more detail behind the yes.
Absolutely. I would say it's 110% yes. They're absolutely inclusive classes. What we would do is we would look at the student's IEP, and if they need some supports in there, we have ways that we can provide supports. If it's a class that's heavy in reading, maybe there's something we need to do to get maybe a different manual for them to use, or maybe to break things down, or have, front load it with vocabulary for them. So there's a lot of ways we can offer supports in there. And I think it's so important. Why wouldn't we offer these to all of our students? We want them all to have these opportunities. And junior high is such a time of finding yourself. And so if they're going to find their passion, that's going to carry them through high school. For a lot of our students with special needs, sometimes they're wanting to be seen just like their normal their peers. The normals, I remember it, but like their peers. So let's get you in those classes. Let's have you do these things. Let's have you find your passion, whether that's CTE or something else, because we're really preparing them for high school and to be successful there. So my answer is 110% yes. All are welcome.
Yeah.
How can you argue with that, Mr. Gilmore?
I can't argue with that. I mean, we want these students in these programs, these hands-on learning experiences where many of our students flourish, and so we welcome them here. They actually, we want them in all of our programs, but especially our CT programs.
So going along those lines, many of us might be thinking, and some parents, that maybe they had their first high school student and are thinking back to that vocational education from way back. We kind of feel that was a little more old fashioned. I think that that our audience today can hear the type of programs that are being offered are very different than what we had experienced when I was in high school in the 80s, or even prior to that. Maybe grandparents experience it differently. So these are definitely industry certifications that our employers are tapping into our high school students early and making sure that they want to fill this pipeline, because many of the positions that Mr. Gilmore talked about are very hard to fill in the workforce. And so they want to recruit our high school students early, and then they provide job training for them if they choose that career path prior to higher education. Own personal experience, I've got two girls. One is graduated from the nursing program at ASU, and one is smack dab in the middle of it. They both have their CNA certificate. That was a leg up for them to get into a very competitive program of nursing. So that CTE certificate was really important. So you don't have to make a choice of or. You can make a choice of and. I'm going to get an industry certificate, and I'm going to go on to higher education and pursue a career in that particular field. So I think back in the day, it was kind of an or. Today, it is 100% yes, all kids, and it is a huge and. We can do both. So I think that that's important. So we're going to shift gears for just a minute and go into talking about International Baccalaureate. How do I know if my child is a good fit for the International Baccalaureate program? And we have an esteemed, what we call IB program at Westwood High School. So Mr. Gilmore, do you mind talking a bit about that?
Yeah, we're very proud of having the IB program here at Westwood High School, and it's one of the flagship programs that we have in Mesa Public Schools, and it's a college prep program that is respected by the world's finest colleges and universities. The colleges and universities come to us looking for the IB students to attend their school. In fact, we had some colleges that were coming to us in the fall saying, hey, we'll even fly the students to our college just to get a tour, just to see them on our campus. And so they really are drawn and attracted to the students here at Westwood High School that are in the IB program. But it's instruction that is just a little bit different from the AP it builds upon the critical thinking and research skills across all the curriculum. So it's very interdisciplinary and cross-curricular in the IB program. It's student-centered, and it's a small learning community here at Westwood High School. So while we might have 3,300 students, where the IB students really flourish is that they have that small learning community where there's about 400 students on our campus, where they have a counselor, they have the teachers, they all work together, and the students really get to know each other so that they could really build upon those tutoring skills, the just that friendship, the camaraderie, so that they could flourish in their program. So it's really, I call it a family. It's a family that's on our campus, and that's what it's built upon. I would say we have one of the most successful programs in the state. I'll brag upon that, just because we see the scholarship money, we see where the students are going, we see the awards. We have the IB Students of the Year from Arizona right here at Westwood. We have the Faculty of the Year amongst all the IB teachers right here at Westwood High School. So it's a very personalized high school experience. It's individualized, and we have a lot of guidance support with it. And just a very engaging program that I wish more, well, I'm not going to say more because we're getting a lot here, but I just love the program because it just has just that critical thinking skills that every student needs to have.
You know, you talked about scholarships and the recruitment. If families are looking for scholarship opportunities, what I hear you saying is that IB is a great route to travel, because we do know that schools are paying attention to students because they really do want them to have that international curriculum that focuses on big ideas and global thought. And so if there's anything you want to add about scholarships for IB?
I would say most of the students, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me right now, but most of the students get their college paid for. And
Yes.
sometimes they probably get a little extra money in their pocket for what they need to do to be successful in college. So it's just a wonderful organization or to be part of. And yeah, most, like I said, the colleges are going to get them, and they're going to pay for these students to come to their schools. And I want to add upon too is that not only it's international, but we have the Model UN program. They travel around the world, and not this year, unfortunately, but in the past they went to Paris and France. My first year here, I approved a trip, and I think they went to Bangkok, Thailand, to compete amongst Southwest Asian students, and they come back just getting prizes and awards. It's just a fantastic program just to see that international mindedness right here at Westwood.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Gilmore. And then maybe both of you can talk about this since you both had experience at the high school level. How can kids earn college credit while in high school? And then how does that work? So we can travel different paths. Mr. Gilmore, you can talk about IB, AP, and maybe Ms. Benza, if you want to talk about dual enrollment.
So yeah, I mean, well, with the IB classes, the students will be getting college credit if they pass the IB test. The same thing with AP. You know, we have AP also at our high schools, and at the end of the year, if they pass the test, they'll get the college credit that is usually recognized by the state universities and colleges across the nation. So those are wonderful opportunities that we have for our students in those advanced rigorous classes. And I don't want to talk too much about dual enrollment. I'll let Ms. Benza, if you want to talk about dual enrollment, or I could expand upon some of the opportunities that we also offer.
That's good. Dual enrollment is very similar to advanced placement classes. I taught advanced placement American government for many years, and the students, like you said, they take the test. The difference between advanced placement and dual enrollment is a dual enrollment class, like an English 101 or 102. You take the college level class at the high school, and at the end of the semester, you earn your college credit for it. All three of the high schools that I've worked at in Mesa as a teacher and as an administrator have pretty large programs for English 101 and 102. And it's a nice way to get some college credits while you're in high school in kind of a more comfortable manner for a lot of kids, because it's a high school teacher that maybe they know, their friends have had, and they're not having to travel to the community college campus to take those.
And I want to expand upon that. What's unique about Mesa Public Schools also is that we have Mesa Community College. We have a strong partnership with them where they have their advisor right on our campus. And so the students that want to explore dual enrollment possibilities can work with their school counselor, but also their MCC advisor to make sure that whatever career that they want to go into after high school, they're taking the appropriate classes to get that associate's degree or their bachelor's degree if they want to transfer to the U of A, ASU, or NAU. So having that partnership with MCC and having their advisors on our campus to help guide students and their family, I think, is so important and so helpful for our community.
And Dr. Flores, can I add to that for a second?
Please, please, please.
A former high school teacher, we often would have kids ask questions. How do I do this? And we have counselors and we, have the career center specialists. But I'm going to echo what Mr. Gilmore said. Having that MCC connection on the campus, that was a game changer. I really saw a difference with our high school students when that started to happen. Just the knowledge that they have, the ability they have to help those kids, financial aid services, placement tests, all of that. That is something that was just such a great idea to put there and is so helpful to the students.
Right. So we're expanding those supports to kids because we know that it's not always easy. It's not always a straight line from I think I'm interested in this to getting it done. So as many people as we can put along the way to help and support and to prop kids up along the way, that is our goal. So a call to the school and say, I am interested in finding out what's available for my kids to earn college credit. I promise you, you will find the right person to start that conversation with and to walk you through and to provide the helps and support that are available. We're getting some questions. I'm looking at our time. We've got about 9 minutes left. And we're getting some questions that are not necessarily specific to high school programming. And I think I will take these. Well, the first one, actually, I'm going to turn to both of you, which is, will summer school be, I'm going to phrase this in two different ways. The question is, will summer school be free again this year? For high school, we had free summer school courses. But I'm going to expand that because our community is going to be learning about an incredibly robust summer programming that we're calling Summer Academies. And so that will happen all the way from elementary to junior high to high school. So let's start about the free portion like it was again last year at the high school. So we'll do high school, then we'll do junior high.
So we're really excited about the summer academies that are going to be offered free for all of our families here at Westwood High School. And I know each school is doing a unique program based on their needs. And so we're going to be offering the traditional credit recovery for students that need to maybe retake a class, but we're going to have leadership opportunities here at Westwood. We're going to have basketball, badminton. We're going to have a rocket demonstration that our math teachers are putting together so that students could explore rocket trajectory and algebra 1 and seeing the correlations. We're going to have the CTE departments are going to probably have they're going to have some type of a camp for students to explore what our CTE programs are. So it's just a way for our community to come back onto our campuses and see the great things that are happening in our schools so that they can get excited for the upcoming school year.
And you want to talk a little bit about your thinking at the junior high level?
Absolutely. We're really excited. Kind of like Mr. Gilmore, like his face lit up. I want to go check out what he's doing. I asked to my teachers, what can we do for our students this summer that would bring kids in, that would make kids say after this long year, I want to go spend some more time at the school. So we're lucky we'll have our incoming 7th graders, our current 7th, and then our current 8th graders. And we're looking to do some things through enrichment and remediation. But one thing I threw out there was, let's, if there's a math thing, how can we make it fun? And so I have a teacher looking to do math skills through different games. One of the things we really want to do is we want kids to feel connected. Junior high is so short, with it being 2 years, they're in and they're out. We want them to feel connected. So we want to do a lot of social emotional lessons with them. They're each going to have their own homeroom. And because the Olympics were postponed to this summer, we're doing an Olympic theme. They're all going to have they're going to have flags and chants. And I looked at it as summer camp where we learn. And I loved summer camp. So we're trying to do some fun with that. I have a math teacher and my culinary teacher who are trying to do having and doubling recipes, and then hopefully go in and get to make one of those recipes. So a lot of just fun things, and again, to see our programs we have to offer, to get to look inside the CTE classrooms and meet some of the teachers and then do some also with how to organize, how to be a student for those incoming 7th graders. What does it mean to be a junior high student, and how am I a successful one? So to have a class on that as well.
Excellent. I love that both of your faces lit up. And I think that there's going to be a lot that we learn during these summer academies. They're going to spill over into the regular academic year about how we can, as Mr. Gilmore said earlier, those cross-curricular, those interdisciplinary studies where you have the math teacher working with the science teacher and the culinary teacher and making this really relevant for kids. So I think we have a lot in store for our kids this summer. And I think we're going to pull some of that ahead with us as we go into the next academic year. So there's a question here about why take advanced placement, AP, if you don't need to take a test to get college credit with dual enrollment. So either one of you, or I can take it, who wants to, you know what, I'll go with that one really quick.
Yeah, go with that.
Yeah, why take AP if you don't need to take the test to get college credit with dual enrollment? So I think what's really important is you have to think about where you are as a high school student and where you want to be as you move through higher education. If you're thinking about going out of state, it's a little trickier for dual enrollment credit to transfer out of state. It's a more surefire, straight way to go with advanced placement as long as the university that you go to accepts that advanced placement coursework. Now, it's also important to know that in dual enrollment, that is a college level course. So you are graded as if you are at a community college. And so you will have to pass that final exam. And there are requirements that go along with it. So while it's on a high school campus, it lives by the rules of a community college. So if you're looking to avoid a test to get credit, we're probably going to disappoint you, because tests are part of that. So again, important for you to know who you are as a student and for you to be able to talk to your counselor so they can get you pointed in that very right direction. So Mr. Gilmore, Ms. Benza, you guys are going to be off the hook. I've got a couple of, but stay here. We have a couple of questions related specifically to COVID. So one of them, I guess we just have one right now. When will masks no longer be required? That is a great question. And I'm going to talk to you about some timely events that have happened. We watch the news, we see the news, we see that there are 2 states that we keep seeing headlines about that have removed their mask mandates. Arizona is not one of those. So in order for masks to not be required, we would be following some mandate, whether it's a state mandate or we would be following guidance from the county. Or I'm going to give you another example. The Arizona Interscholastic Association just came out, AIA, that governs our high school sports, came out and said masks are not required beginning next week, but here's the rest of that sentence, for the players on the court. So the players who are actually playing, their masks can be removed, but those waiting to play, those sitting on the sidelines, and for spectators, all need to be wearing masks. Every step of the way, every decision that we have made in Mesa Public Schools, we have paid attention to the guidance of the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, as well as the Arizona Department of Health Services, Maricopa County Health Services. So if we have an indication from them that masks would no longer be required, that would prompt a conversation with us inside of Mesa Public Schools. We are not going to make that decision outside of public health officials. We know that there's a lot of information about the importance of mitigation. Vaccines are fantastic. And they are that really high level of mitigation, but we know that none of our children have access to them at this point. So that many people have this sense of security saying, oh, the adults have received their vaccines who want them. We still need to be wearing our masks. So I hope that I've clarified that and connected some of the dots on maybe why people would be asking that. So we have gotten through the questions that I see really quickly from my quick view. Boy, we did great on time, and we have 1 minute left. Anything that you want to say, last words from Westwood High School or Shepherd Junior High?
Give us a call. Start with our school counselor. Start with us. Come onto our campus. Start exploring our programs, because like our motto says, there's something for everybody here, and we want to get those students plugged in. So come explore what we have to offer, explore your neighborhood school to see what they have to offer, because we have great things that are going on in Mesa Public Schools.
I agree with what Mr. Gilmore said. Give us a call, come see our school. We love to show off our school and talk about it and show you the things that we're proud of and all the opportunities that are available. So, please call if you have any questions about Shepherd or any junior high, reach out. All of us principals love to chat about our school. So please reach out to us.
And I just want to say thank you to both of you. You are just amazing leaders who are doing great things for kids. And our community can know that with leaders like you, our Mesa Public School promise is something that we live by, is knowing our students by name, serving them by strength and need so that they graduate ready for college, career, and community. That's why we do this work. So I want to say thank you to both of you for joining me this afternoon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And for those of you who joined us, thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.